Hi, preppers. Have you been paying attention to the news lately? Probably not. Most of us don't. Not the mainstream news, anyway. But no matter where you're getting your news from, I don't think you can avoid the stories that are going on in the media right now. Things have been happening in the world. Uh, First off, let's take a look at this. Apparently, Russia is planning a huge offensive attack on Ukraine. This comes up with the anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of them first invading the country. It could be, it might not be. I don't know how much we can believe coming out of the media these days regarding Russia, because we're only getting one side of the story, and that's intentional. But the problem is, it could very well happen, and Russia has been threatening all sorts of stuff. We're starting to talk again, and it was just a little less than a year ago, actually, that we were talking about sending fighter jets to Ukraine. And back then they said, no way, that's going to start World War III. But apparently they're starting to discuss sending fighter jets to Ukraine now. So that's going to just escalate stuff beyond belief. In the meantime, what is the American response to all this? The threats, we have threats from Russia for nuclear weapons. North Korea is still around. Here we go, is the Space Force, the wonderful Space Force. Just put that into frame a little bit for you there. There we go. Space Force News reporting that the U.S. has launched an unarmed, mind you, it's unarmed, but it's still an intercontinental ballistic missile. Firing it into the ocean, it's a show of strength. It's actually, that's what that's all about, is the U.S. showing that, yeah, you may be threatening us with nukes, but we have capabilities too. Everybody's putting their junk out on the table to see whose is bigger at this point, and I don't think that's all going to end very well whatsoever. To make matters even more interesting, we have 4 unidentified flying objects floating around and being shot down. Well, the first one actually was identified. China claims, yeah, it's ours, but it was just a weather balloon. The U.S., Canada, well, we're saying it was a spy balloon. Anyway, it floated all the way across continental U.S., started in Alaska, from what I understand, moved in through western Canada, through the prairies, down into the U.S., and then floated off into the Atlantic Ocean, off the coast of the Carolinas somewhere, at which point the American Air Force shot it down. After that, there was an unidentified object flying over Alaska that was shot down. There was another unidentified object flying over Yukon here in Canada that was shot down. And yet again, another unidentified object over Lake Huron that was shot down. Now, obviously, the ones in Alberta and western Canada, sorry, not Alberta, the one in Yukon and the one in over Lake Huron, they got there somehow. They're just not telling us where they had been before they got to where they are. But they didn't just appear in the skies in these points. So they're coming from somewhere, but no one's telling us exactly where they're coming from. In any case, all this stuff adding up together is meaning for not good news for people like you and me. If you haven't stepped up your preps, and I'm not here to fearmonger and say World War III is imminent or going to happen anytime soon. It may not. But let's keep in mind, no one's talking peace talks with Germany. No one's talking to China about what's going on. No one's talking to North Korea about what they're doing. Instead, we're just starting a big old pissing match, basically, with everybody at this point. And it's probably not the smartest of moves. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, we need to flex our muscle and show what we've got too. But that just usually leads to a lot of muscle flexing. And eventually somebody's going to flex the wrong muscle, like this one, and push a button somewhere. And then a whole bunch of buttons get pushed. And then the next thing you know, well, you saw the intro to the video. Anyway, It's time to really seriously start thinking, and not thinking about, but seriously start getting prepared. Boost everything you're doing. Everything. Food and water supplies, medical supplies. Try not to leave out things that can help there if a nuclear war were to break out. Potassium iodide tablets, gas mask, protective clothing, bunkers, things like that. Security and safety, all those things. Shelter, reinforce everything, up your step on everything right now. The world is not a friendly place at this moment in time. That's even forgetting about our internal political unease, shall we call it, at this point in time. I'm not going to get into that. It's not a politics channel. But it's not looking good right now with what everybody seems to want to be doing. And we got to start prepping things a little bit faster, I would say. In any case, be prepared, Canada. It's a tough world out there.